Namaskaraha. I hope I am audible. Vande tam madavaranendra vadanam madhagadheya kritim shundadanda suchalanena jagatam mayantaraya mayan vidravya pranati prasanna hridayo yonukta eva svayam rakshatyan vahamatmanoti virudam vaidyesha putrabhidham. Namaskaraha. Let's start. So, seeing the katha of Dantila and Gorambha. So, do a quick recap of yesterday's portion. Nagnistripyati kashthanam napaganam mahodadhihi nantakas sarvabhutanam napumsam vamalochana. So, very clear. Agni is never satisfied. How much ever wood is provided, kashtha is provided, Agni does not get satisfied. Evameva apaganam mahodadhihi api na triptim prapnoti. Evameva yamaha swayam kalaha sarvabhutanam triptim na prapnoti. Vamalochanaha striyaha pumsam na triptim prapnuvanti. Raho nasti kshano nasti nasti prarthayita naraha tena narada narinam satitvam upajayate. So satitva. So when is it that a woman becomes a very chaste woman? She is recognized for her chastity, etc. When does she become a sati? Only in the absence of an opportunity. Rahaha nasti ched, kshanaha nasti ched, evameva prarthayita naraha. Kshanaha, here is an opportune moment. Prarthayita naraha is a person who has expressed interest towards her. Only in the absence of these three, as a nari becomes sati. Yomohan manyate mudho rakteyam mamakamini satasya vashago nityam bhavet krida shakuntavatu. So the one who out of delusion thinks that mamakamini, my lover, is really interested in me. She is really interested into me. Saha tasyaha vashagaha nityam bhavet. So he comes under her control and he remains so forever, like a krida shakunta, like a pet parrot or any pet bird. Tasam vakyani krityani swalpani sudurunyapi kavoti sahkritayi loke laghutvam yati sarvataha. Tasam vakyani. So tasam strinam vakyani vachanani swalpani suduruni api krityani. It can be either a mean task, a very, very small mean task, swalpani krityani, athava suduruni krityani, some mahat karyam. Okay. So, api kritaihi yaha karoti, the one who accomplishes her tasks for her, or one who listens to her vachanas and makes them fructify. Such a person, saha loke sarvataha laghutvam yati. He only attains disrespect and he becomes known as a mean person in this world. He becomes a very cheap person. Laghutvam yati. Striyancha yaf prarthayate sannikarshancha gacchati yushacha kurute sevam tameve chanti yoshita. So, who are preferred? Who are the kind of people that are preferred by women? The one who expresses their love for them, okay, his or her love for these women. Striyancha yaha prarthayate, the one who seeks them, and the one who visits them often and stays near. Sannikarshancha gacchati yushacha kurute, is ready to accomplish even a mean task, a very alpa karya when ordered by them. Tam eva yoshitaha ichanti. Anarthitvan manushyanam bhayat parijanasya cha maryadayam amaryada striyastishtanti sarvada. So women who are by nature amaryadaha, who have no control, no restraint whatsoever, taha maryadayam tishtanti. Kada tishtanti, kimartham tishtanti, anarthitvat manushyanam, when there is no proper suitor. Okay, somebody who is interested in them comes and approaches them. When there is an absence of such a man, then anarthitvat, and then manushyanam bhayat, and out of fear in the society. Okay? They fear the society, the people in the society, and then parijanasya cha bhayat, and their close kith and kin, out of fear for them, they stay in their limits. नासां कश्चिद् अगम्योऽस्ति नासाञ्च वयसि स्थितिः विरूपं रूपवन्तं वा पुमानित्येव भुज्यते. So they have no bar. Kaschid agamyaha nasti. There is no bar on who is to be approached or who is not to be approached. There is no distinction and there is no care for age. Nasam vayasi sthitihi. Vayo vicharaha nasti tesha. Should he be approached? He's a young man or he's very old. Should he be approached? No such thought comes to them. Virupam rupavantam va. To be a handsome person or an ugly man does not matter. They enjoy men. They exploit them. रक्तो हि जायते भोग्यो नारीणां शाटको यथा दृश्यते यो दशालम्बी नितम्बे विनिवेशितः. सो रक्तः यः रक्तः भवति अनुरक्तः भवति, the one who becomes interested in them, सः शाटकः यथा घृष्यते तथा सोऽपि घृष्यते. So after use, the way a sari is pulled off and thrown away. एवमेव रक्तः अपि भोग्यः bhogyah jayate. He becomes an object of enjoyment and then is discarded. Alaktako yatharakto nishpidya purushastatha abalabhir baladraktah padamule nipatyate. Alaktakaha raktaha. So this alta, okay, that is worn, which is red in color. Balatri nishpidya. So that is, it is squeezed and it is forcibly squeezed and it is applied on the feet. एवमेव रक्तः पुरुषः अपि अबलाभिः स्त्रीभिः बलात् निष्पीड्य, by forcefully bringing him under control, by troubling him, by bringing him under control, padamule nipatyate. He is made to fall at their feet, means he is disgraced. एवं स राजा बहुविधं विलप्य तत्प्रभृति दन्तिलस्य प्रसाद पराङ्मुखः सञ्जातः. किं बहुना राजद्वार प्रवेशोऽपि तस्य निवारितः. दन्तिलोऽप्यकस्मादेव प्रसाद पराङ्मुखम् अवनिपतिम् अवलोक्य चिन्तयामास अहो साधुचेदम् उच्यते. So lamenting like this, what happened? He became prasada parangmukha to Dantila. He did not favor Dantila anymore, and he was his free entry in the towards into the royal mansion was also stopped. Dantilopi akasmadeva. So Dantila was also wondering, why is it ahetuka? There is no hetu at all here. Right? There is no proper reason why the king should be like this. But then starts thinking. कोर्थान् प्राप्य न गर्वितो विषयिणः कस्यापदोस्तङ्गता स्त्रीभिः कस्य न खण्डितं भुवि मनः को नाम राज्ञां प्रियः कः कालस्य न गोचरान्तरगतः कोर्थी गतो गौरवं को वा दुर्जन वागुरासु पतितः क्षेमेण यातः पुमान्. So arthan prapya, so having obtained riches, who does not become arrogant, and which vishayis apat means what? His danger or troubles have ended. Stribhihi kasyana khanditam bhuvi manaha. So on this earth, whose heart has not been hurt by woman, and ko nama rajñam priyaha. Who is it that is really liked by a king forever? Kah kalasya nagocharantaragataha. Who has not been consumed by kala. Korthi gato gauravam. Which arthi, which yachaka has ever got respect in this world? Kova durjana vagurasu patitaha kshemena yataha. So who has indeed escaped safely after falling in the trap of wicked people. तथा च आके शौचं द्यूतकारेषु सत्यं सर्पेक्षान्ति स्त्रीषु कामोपशान्तिः क्लीबे धैर्यं मद्यपे तत्त्वचिन्ता राजामित्रं केन दृष्टं श्रुतं वा. So काके शौचं, purity in a crow, truth in dyutakaras, those who gamble, and sarpekshantihi, forgiveness in a snake, and satisfaction of desire, sexual desire in women, klibe dhairyam, and courage in a kliba, in an apumsaka, madhyape tattva-chinta, tattva-vichara, in a person, in a drunkard, and the Raja as a friend who has seen or heard of these things. Aparam mayasya bhupate rathava anyasyapi kasyachid rajasambandhina swapnepi nanishtam kritam tat kimedat parangmukho mam prati bhupatihi. So Dantila continues to wonder See, I have not done any apakara either to the Bhupati or to any of his Sambandhi. Kasyachid Raja Sambandhinaha Swapnevi Nanishtam Kritam. So even in Swapna, I have not spoiled anything for him or for his relatives. Tat kimetat parangmukho mam prati bhupati. So why is it that the king is indifferent to me? Evam tam dantilam kadachid rajadware vishkambhitam vilokya sammarjanakarta gorambho vihasya dwarapalan idamuche bhobho dwarapalaha rajaprasadadhishthitoyam dantila swayam nigraha anugraha kartacha. So once Dantila was obstructed at the gate, okay, and then Gorambha happened to be around, so he started talking to the Dwarapala. Both Dwarapalas Rajaprasada Adhishthitaha ayam Dantilaha. So this Dantila has received Rajaprasada. So he is the favorite of the king, and he is Swayam Nigraha Anugraha Karta. He has the power to punish and reward. Tadanena nivaritena yathaham tatha yuyama pyardhachandra bhajino bhavishyata tatshurtva dantilas chintayamasa nunamidamasya gorambhasya cheshtitam athava sadhvidam uchyate. So because of his nivarana, because of obstructing him, you are going to be ardhachandra bhajis, the recipients of ardhachandra, just like me. Yatha aham tatha yuyamapi, you as well will be the recipients of ardhachandra. Tachrutva dantilas chintayamasa. So Dantila thinks and understands, no, nunam idam gorambhasya cheshtitam, nischayam idam gorambhasya cheshtitam. This is definitely the work of Gorambha. Akulinopi murkhopi bhupalam yotra sevate api sammanahinopi sasarvatra prabhuchyate. So even an akulina murkha, but in case he serves the king, he deserves sammana, he is to be respected. Api kapurusho bhiru syachen rupati sevakaha tathapina parabhutim janadapnoti manavaha. So he could be a kapurusha, a kutsita purusha, okay? A very, very timid, meek fellow, not capable of protecting himself. He could be such a guy. But in case he happens to enjoy, some kind of a position in the royal service, he will never be defeated. Evam sabahuvidham vilapte vilakshmanaha sodvego gataprabhavaha swagriham nishamukhe gorambha mahuya vastrayugalena sammanyedam bhadra maya natada tvam ragavashan nissaritaha yatastvam brahmananam agrato nuchitasthane samupavishto drishtaha ityapamanitaha tat kshamyatam. So having lamented thus, vilakshmana, so being embarrassed, sodvegaha, with lot of sorrow, gataprabhavaha, having lost his power, swagriham nishamukhe gorambham ahuya. So once darkness has set in, nishamukhe gorambham ahuya, inviting Gorambha, calling him to his house. Swagriham ahuya, he invited Gorambha to his house. Vastrayugalena sammanya. So he honored him with a pair of garments. Vastrayugalena, yugalam is a pair. Yugalena sammanya, having respected him. Idam uvacha. He spoke thus, Bhadra, dear, maya natada tvam ragavashan nissaritaha. So on that day, you were not sent out because of some kind of a personal preference. Okay? And here I saw this question, why is it not dveshavashat but ragavashat? Interesting question. I just checked the dictionary. In fact, the artha that I thought to myself was that ragavashat, here raga refers to some sort of a personal preference. But when I was going through the kosha, raga also has another meaning, wrath and anger. Okay, it can convey these meanings as well. So raga can also mean wrath and anger. So ragavashat nissaritaha means na ragavashat nissaritaha means I did not send you out because of anger towards you or because I was angry with you. Not so. So raga krodhaha ityarthe atra prayuktaha raga shabdaha. Yatastvam ब्राह्मणानाम् अग्रतो अनुचितस्थाने समुपविष्टः दृष्टः इत्यपमानितः. You were dishonored because you were seen. Bhavan drishtah. Samupavishtaha drishtah. You were seen to be seated where brahmananam agratah. Excuse me, kshamyatam. Anuchita sthane. So at an inappropriate place, you were seen to be seated ahead of the brahmanas. Okay. So brahmananam agratah anuchita sthane bhavan samupavishtaha drishtah tasmat karanat apamanitah. Tat kshamyatam. So he says, I am sorry that maybe I could have called you and just told you that this is improper for you to sit at this place. Maybe you could take some other seat. I could have told you that, but then I happened to insult you, but I am sorry for that. But it was not totally without any reason. I did not have any personal anger towards you. Go to the next one. Sopi swargarajyopamam tadvastrayugalamasadya paramparidosham gatva tamuvacha ho shreshtin kshantam maya te tadasya sammanasya krite pashyame buddhiprabhavam rajaprasadam cha evam uktva saparitosham nishkrantah sadhuchedam uchyate. Saha api swargarajya upamam tat vastrayugalam आसाद्य परम परितोषं दत्वा तम उवाच भोः श्रेष्ठिन् क्षान्तं मया ते तत् तत् अस्य सम्मानस्य कृते पश्य मे बुद्धिप्रभावं राजप्रसादं च एवं उक्त्वा सपरितोषं निष्क्रान्तः साधु च इदम् उच्यते. Sopi sahakaha gorambhopi swargarajyopamam tadvastrayugalam asadya. So having received those pair of garments, and that was like having obtained swargarajya for him. Okay. So swargarajya upamam, swargarajya tulyam tadvastrayugalam asadya prapya param paritosham gatva. He was very happy, very satisfied. Param paritosham gatva tam uvacha. He told Dantila, ho shreshtin, ho shreshthi, shantam maya te tat. Te tava tat tad aparadham. That aparadha of yours, maya kshantam, has been forgiven by me. Maya te tad aparadham kshantam. Tadasya sammanasya krite pashyame buddhi prabhavam rajaprasadam cha. Now, for this sammana that you have shown me, okay, now you have given sammana to me. Asya sammanasya krite, for this sammana, pashyame buddhi prabhavam. See the prabhava of my buddhi. See what I am going to do to you. Rajaprasadam cha. And see what kind of rajaprasada you are going to enjoy. Evam uktva saparitosham nishkrantah. Having told this, he left with very, very satisfied. He left. Sadhu chedam uchyate. It is indeed told rightly. Stokenonnati mayati stokenayatya dhogatim aho susadrishi cheshta tulayashte khalasya cha. Stokenonnati mayati stokenayatya dhogatim aho susadrishi cheshta tulayashte khalasya cha. Stokena unnatim ayati. Stokena ayati adho gati. Aho susadrishi cheshta tulayashte khalasya cha. The verse says, Tulayashte khalasya cha cheshta susadrishi. Oh, what a similarity in the behavior of a tulayashti, in the balancing rod. Okay. Tulayashti is the rod that balances. Tulayashti and a khala and a durjana and a cheap person, a very, very inferior person. Tulayashte khalasya cha cheshta susadrishi asti. Susadrishi means very, very, very similar. How stokena unnatim ayati, stokena ayati adhogate. So just stokena. Stokam means alpam. Okay. So amriten alpena unnati maya. So with just a small amount, it rises up, right? With again a very, very small amount of weight when added to it, it comes down. So a very small amount of weight is enough to disturb the balance of Tulayashti. It will go up and come down. Evameva khalaha api stokena alpena tushtim prapnuvanti alpena krodham api prapnuvanti. So for a very small matter, they might get angry. And for a very small matter, they will be actually very pleased. So all that it took to please Dantila was a pair of garments. That's all. A pair of garments, and of course, a few words that Dantila had to speak and apologize. And we have to remember that he did not even do this in public. Okay, Nishamukhe tam griham ahutavan saha. So only when it got dark, he ensured that nobody saw to it that he was apologizing to this fellow. So Dantila took all that precaution and then did that. But even this act satisfied Gorambha. That shows his khalatva. Okay. So he was really a very mean fellow. Okay. So that is why he could attain satisfaction. See, if he was really offended and he thought that some kind of an injustice has been done to him by forcefully removing him from that place, had he really felt that it was some kind of a grave injustice or something, he wouldn't be satisfied with this, right? But he is satisfied with this. So he's Mahan. So it says, saparitosham nishkranta. So Dasya Mahan paritoshaha asit. So he's very, very happy and Tataschanyedhyuhu sagorambho rajagule gatva yoganidram gatasya bhupatehe sammarjana kriyam kuruvan idamaha aho avivekosmad bhupatehe yat purishotsargamacharam chirbhati bhakshanam karoti. Tataha cha anyedhyuhu saha gorambha rajakule gatva yoganidram gatasya bhupatehe sammarjana kriyam kuruvan idam aha aho avivekaha asmad bhupatehe yat purisha utsargam acharan chirbhati bhakshanam karoti. Then anyedhyuhu, the next day, saha gorambha, that gorambha Rajakulam, that's why he went to the royal palace. There, yoganidram gatasya bhupatehe. So just like the previous case, so the king was half asleep and half awake. Tasmin samaye bhupatehe sammarjana kriyam kuruvan aha. So when cleaning up the palace, I mean somewhere around his shayyante, sammarjana kriyam kuruvan idamaha. He told this what? Aho avivekaha asmad bhupatehe. Oh, what an indiscretion on the part of our Bhupati. Okay. He does not know what to do when avivekaha. There is no viveka in him. Why? What did he do? Yat purishotsargam acharan chirbhati bhakshanam karoti. Chirbhatika is a cucumber. Okay. So purishotsargam acharan. So when excreting, okay, our king eats a cucumber. Purishotsargam acharan ayam chirbhati bhakshanam karoti. Evam saha uktavan. Evam saha jalpitavan. Tachutva raja savismayam tamuvacha rere gorambha kim aprastutam lapasi. Griha karmakaram matva tvam navyapadayami. Kim toya kadachidaham evam vidham karma samacharan drishtaha. Tat shrutva raja savismayam tam uvacha. Re gorambha kim aprastutam lapasi griha karmakaram matva tvam na vyapadayami kim tvaya kadachit aham evam vidham karma samacharan drishtaha. Hearing this, king is really perplexed. Savismayam tam uvach. Ere Gorambha, what is it that you are blabbering? Kim aprastutam lapasi. What is it that you are blabbering? Can't believe you have told this griha karmakaram matva tvam na vyapadayami. So you have been serving me for a long time. You are a griha karmakara here, and therefore I am not killing you. Tvam na vyapadayami. Kim tvaya kadachit aham evam vidham karma samacharan dushtaha. Have you really seen me anytime doing this sort of a thing? That's something that you just uttered. Kim tvaya, by you, kadachit, at any time, aham evam vidham karma samacharan dushtaha. Have you ever seen me doing such a karma ever? So bravit. Yutasaktasya ratri jagaranena sammarjanam kurvanasya mama balan nidra samayata tayadhishtitena maya kim swichalpitam tannavetni tat prasadam karotu swami mama nidra paravashasya. So saha abravit dyuta asaktasya ratri jagaranena sammarjanam kurvanasya mama balat nidra samayata taya adhishtitena maya kim svit jalpitam tat na vedmi tat prasadam karotu swami mama nidra paravashasya. So he again gives the same reason. Bravit dyutasaktasya ratri jagaranena. So I am a fellow who is addicted to gambling. Ratri jagaranena, because of keeping awake at night. Sammarjanam kurvanasya mama. So me who was doing this sammarjana kriya, I was overpowered by sleep. Mama balat nidra samaya. So I was overpowered by sleep. Tayadhishtitena. Nidraya adhishtitena. So somebody who was taken over by nidra. So by that kind of a person, maya. Nidraya adhishtitena maya. So by me who was overpowered by sleep, I just blabbered something. Tannavedmi. So I don't know what is it that I uttered. That prasadam karotu swami. So swami should, give your grace and please not be angry. Swami mama prasadam karotu. So swami, please cool down and mama prasadam karotu. Please be favorable to me. Mama kidrishasya mama nidra paravashasya. So I who was lost in sleep, nidra vasham gatasya mama aparadham kshamyata prasadam karotu iti saha prarthitavan. Evam shrutva raja chintitavan yanmaya ajanmatopi purishotsargam kurvata kadapi chirbhatika na bhakshita tad yathayam yatikaro sambhavyo mamanena mudhena vyahritaha tatha dantilasyapi iti nishchayaha. Evam shrutva raja chintitavan yat maya ajanmataha api purishotsargam kurvata kadapi chirbhatika na bhakshita tat yatha ayam vyatikaraha asambhavyaha mama anena mudhena vyahritaha tatha dantilasya api iti nishchayaha. Evam shrutva. So having heard this, Raja Chintitavan, he thought, yat maya ajanmatopi purishotsargam kurvata kadapi na chirbhatika bhakshita. So maya chirbhatika kadapi na bhakshita. So I have never had cucumber. Purishotsargam kurvata maya. By me, when excreting, I have never, had this cucumber ever. Ajanmatopi. From my very birth, I know this for sure. Tad yatha ayam yatikaraha asambhavyaha. So just the way this kind of a vyatikara is asambhavya, is not possible. This misconception, this contradiction is not possible. Vyatikara is contradiction, misconception, something that is not right. So ayam yatikaraha yatha asambhavyaha mama anena, mama asambhavyaha. So this kind of vyatikara, just the way it is impossible for me, anena mudhena vyahritaha ayam vyatikaraha. So this contradiction that was uttered by this fool Just the way it is asambhavya, impossible, tatha tathaiva dantilasyapi vyatikaraha asambhavyaha. So something that I imagined of Dantila is also impossible. I have to know that. Danmayana yuktam kritam yat savaratas sammanena viyojitaha na tadrik purushanam evam vidham cheshtitam sambhavyate tadabhavena rajakrityani paurakrityani cha sarvani shithilatam prajanti. Tad maya nayuktam kritam yat sahavarakaha sammanena viyojitaha na tadrik purushanam evam vidham cheshtitam sambhavyate tad abhavena rajakrityani paurakrityani cha sarvani shithilatam vrajanti. Tad maya nayuktam kritam. So what has been done by me is not proper. I have not done the right thing. That saha varakaha sammanena viyojitaha. That poor fellow Dantila has been dishonored. Sammanena viyojitaha. So he has been deprived of the honor that he had been enjoying for so long. Tadrik purushanam evam vidham cheshtitam sambhavite. So that kind of a people like Dantila can never do such things. Tadrik purushanam, tadrishanam purushanam, kidrishanam, Dantila sadrishanam purushanam. So people like Dantila, for people like Dantila, evam vidham cheshtitam na sambhavyate. So this kind of a mean act is not possible for people like Dantila. Tadabhavena, because of the absence of Dantila, see, because Dantila has been just removed from all the Raja Karya, so many things are, Rajakrityani, Paurakrityani cha. So both important royal services that are to be performed and Paurakrityani, those services that are to be performed in public that Dantila had been doing for a long time, both of them, shithilatam vrajanti, they are becoming very, very weak. Okay, they used to be very, very fine. Whatever was functioning very nicely, now they have all become weak. Shithilatam vrajanti. Eva manekadha vimrishya dantilam samahuya nijanga vastrabharanadibhis sanyojya swadhikare niyojayamasa atoham bravimi yona pujayate garvaditi. Evam anekadha vimrishya dantilam samahuya nija anga vastra abharanadibhihi samyojya swadhikare niyojayamasa ataha aham bravimi yaha na pujayate garvadi. So we are back to the conversation happening between Damanaka and Sanjeevaka. Evam anekadha vimrishya. Evam rupena, having thought about this again and again, having analyzed it nicely, Dantilam samahuya, this Raja calls Dantila, Dantilam ahuya, nija anga vastra abharanadibhihi samyojya. So he was once again, some compensation has to be done, right? So all of a sudden he was sent out. Now he has to be received again. So Raja rewarded him with his own anga vastra, abharana, etc., honored him, and then reinstated back in his own position. Swadhikare niyojayamasa. So whatever position that Dantila had enjoyed before, he was reinstated. Atoham bravimi. So now this is Damanaka speaking. Ataha aham bravimi. That is why I am saying, Sanjeevaka, yona pujayate garvad uttamadhama madhyaman. So that was the shloka that Damanaka had told Sanjeevaka, right? That the one who does not, give proper respect to the servants of the king, they will perish. So you please remember our contract. So once you get close to Sanjeevaka, if you are going to forget about me, you will be in trouble. So with this, we come to the end of the story of Dantila and Gorambha. Niyojayamasa is lit. Okay, Chintayamasa, Niyojayamasa, all of them are lit lakara, right? So Niyojayamasa. So again, Yujadhatu, and then there is a nich, okay, causative pratyaya, like Pathati, Pathayati. Okay, so evam eva yojayati. Okay, so yojayati means what? To cause to come together. And then after anich, there is lit lakara. So there is niyojayamasa. It's like chintayamasa. Okay, any other questions? No questions. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of Dantila-gorambha-katha. So one thing that I wanted to share about this katha is that we see that this is a very, very, very practical katha. Okay, where very typical of Panchatantra, there is no moral angle that is spoken about here. For example, this this Dantila, let us say Dantila is a Shreshthi, right? So he's up high in the hierarchy, and this Gorambha is some kind of a inferior person who is doing a very, very menial job. Okay. This Dantila is pushed away, and what happens is so this Dantila is pushed away. And so one can expect that, okay, so that in case this, Panchatantra was talking to us about some, it wanted to give some moral advice to us. And the katha would have proceeded, what happened to, how did Gorambha manage to get justice for the, injustice that was meted to him, things like that. But there is no moral angle at all in the story. It is very clear that Gorambha was a mean fellow. Okay. And this Dantila was a Sakalapura Nayaka and Nana Bhandapati who enjoyed this very, very rare position of being both close to the king and close to the people. So we see that Dantila was a hard-working person who raised to that level. And Gorambha was a really cheap fellow because, he tried to break the protocol and went out of, there is a big royal gathering. Okay, so the king has come and all the Raja Sambandhis have come, and this guy somehow went and took a seat at a place that was inappropriate to him. And also he was very, very pleased when Dantila gifted him with just a pair of garments. That was enough to please him. Right? So we don't see Panchatantra advocating, things like both of these people went to some third party, okay, and they tried to, this Gorambha's injustice gets proper, this Dantila for having reprimanded Gorambha for a mistake that, let us say that, Gorambha was very, very, in the sense that, something that was not worthy of the mistake. So he was cruelly punished and things like that. They both went to a third party justice and judge, let us say, and they resolved their matter. Panchatantra does not say like that. Panchatantra says that whatever had to be done, both of them did. That's all. The important learning takeaway in this lesson is that any person, okay, you have to be careful if they are employed in royal service. That is the idea that is conveyed. But there is no, the idea is not that a person who is actually inferior is also a very important person, or he is a very great person, or let us say in the, in the Paramarthika sense, he is, only for practical hierarchical purpose, he is like that. But otherwise, he is also alive and he has his own rights, duties, nothing like that. Panchatantra advocates. It just advocates a very practical solution that any person who is employed at the service of a king is to be taken care properly. He has to be respected. So dishonor will not be taken lightly, even by a person who is very mean. Okay. So he will not take it lightly, because that is why we see the text saying that he could not sleep at night, and it really bothered him. So all that he wanted was that whatever respect was needed for him, that be given. That's all. It is very, very, very rational expectation from the side of Gorambha, and that alone Dantila gives. That's all. There is no other big story that is big, moral that is conveyed in this story. So I think now we can continue. We continue with Damanaka Sanjeevaka Samvada. Sanjeevaka aha bhadram bhadra evamevaitat yadbhavatabhihitam tadeva maya kartavyam iti. Evam abhihite damanakastamādāya pingalaka sakāsham agamat ahacha deva yesha mayanītas sanjeevakaha. Sanjeevaka aha. Sanjeevakaha aha bhadra evam eva etat. Yat bhavata abhihitam tat eva maya kartavyam iti. Evam abhihite damanakaha tam ādāya pingalaka sakāsham agamat ahacha deva yeshaha mayanītaha saha sanjeevaka. So Sanjeevaka says, Bhadra evameva yet. Just the way, be it so. Whatever you have said, I am in complete agreement with that. So be it. Yad bhavata abhihitam, whatever has been told by you, tadeva maya kartavyam iti. That alone has to be done by me. So I will remember this and I will be loyal to you. Evam abhihite. So after uttering this, when this was uttered, Damanakaha tam ādāya Pingalaka sakāsham agamat. So Damanaka took him and went near Pingalaka, ahacha, and told Pingalaka, Deva yeshaha mayanītaha saha sanjeevaka. Yeshaha sanjeevakaha. This is that Sanjeevaka who has been brought to you by me. Adhuna deva pramanam. Sanjeevakopitam sadaram pranamyagratas savinayam sthitaha. Pingalakopitasya pīnāyata kakudmato nakhakulishaalankritam dakshinapanim uparidatva manapurassaram uvaja api shivam bhavataha kutastvasmin vane vijane samayatosi adhuna deva pramana. So now you are the pramana. So you take appropriate action. My part is over. Sanjeevakaha api tam sadaram pranamya. Sanjeevaka as well bows down to him out of respect. Sadaram pranamya agrataha savinayam sthitaha. So he stood with humility in front of the lion. Pingalakaha api tasya pina ayata kakudmataha nakakulisha alankritam dakshinapanim upari dattva. Pingalakaha tasya upari. Tasya kasya sanjeevakasya upari. So he raised his hand above Sanjeevaka. Now Sanjeevakaha kidrishaha pina ayata kakudman saha. So he has a very huge hump. Pina ayata. Ayata is long. Okay. So he has a long and a huge hump. So he is pina ayata kakudman tasya. Pīnāyuta kakudmataha tasya sanjeevakasya upari panim dattva. So he raises his hand and places it above Sanjeevaka. Raises it, and how are his hands? Nakha kulisha alankritam dakshina pan. So it is adorned with nakha, each of which is like kulisha, like vajrayudha. Nakha kulishaihi alankritam dakshina panim upari dattva manapurassaram uvacha. So he talks with respect. Api shivam bhavataha. Are you doing well? Kutaha tvam asmin vane vijane samayataha asi. So why is it that you have come here in this vijane vane? Okay, there is, and you are a domestic animal, right? So what is your job in this forest where there are no human beings? Vijane vane kutaha samayataha asi. Kasmat karanat samayataha asi. Why have you come here? Tena pyatmaka vrittanta kathitaha yatha vardhamanena saha viyogaha sanjataha tatha sarvam niveditam. Tachrutva pingalaka sadarataram tamuvacha vayasya nabhetavyam. Madbhuja panjara rakshitena yathecham dvayadhuna vartitavyam. Tena api atmaka vrittantaha kathitaha. yatha vardhamanena saha viyogaha sanjataha tatha sarvam niveditam. Tat shrutva pingalakaha sadarataram tam uvacha vayasya na bhedavyam. Madbhuja panjara parirakshitena yathecham yathecham tvaya adhuna vartitavyam. Tena kena sanjeevakena atmaka vrittantaha kathitaha. So his own story was told by Sanjeevaka. Now it is interesting that Sanjeevaka tells the real story. He does not tell that aham maneshwarasya vrishabha evam rupena sahana vadati. He does not say that. But unfortunately for us, the text does not mention the reaction of Pingalaka on hearing the truth from Sanjeevaka. We are forced to assume it from the context that Pingalaka was probably really happy, and he shed his own fear about Sanjeevaka and started to treat him like a real friend. That is why. So Sanjeevaka, what does he say? Yatha vardhamanena saha viyogaha. So the viyoga from Vardhamana that happened, okay, the way it happened, he told it the same way. Tatha sarvam niveditam. So everything was told as it happened. Tat shrutva. So having heard that, Pingalakaha, and Pingalaka sadarataram tamuvach. He was very happy, and out of respect he spoke. Vayasya mitra. Okay, Vayasya, dear friend, nabhetavyam. Please don't be afraid. Nabhetavyam. Madbhuja panjara parirakshitena yathecham tvaya adhuna vartitavyam. So see, do not be afraid. Madbhuja panjara parirakshitena tvaya. Now, tvaya adhuna vartitavyam. By you, so it is very difficult to translate it in English. So see, so you can stay in this forest. Tvaya adhuna vartitavyam. From now on, you can stay here. So by you, so by vartitavyam. Okay. So vartitavyam, very difficult to translate for me. So because it is in passive. Okay. So yathecham tvaya adhuna vartitavyam. You may stay as you wish. How? Madbhuja panjara parirakshitena tvaya. So how are you? You are parirakshita. You are protected now. By whom? By my bhuja panjara. Panjara is a cage. Okay. And bhuja here is my arms. Okay. So you are now under the protection of this cage called my arms. Okay. So under this protection, yathecham vartitavyam. So you may stay here from now on as you wish, as you please. Anyacha nityam mat samipavartina bhavyam yatah karanad bahvapayam raudra sattva nishevitam vanam gurunam api sattvanam asevyam kutaha shashpabhojinam. Anyatcha nityam mat samipavartina bhavyam yatah karanat bahvapayam raudra sattva nishevitam vanam gurunam api sattvanam asevyam taha shashpabhojinam. Also, nityam mat samipavartina bhavyam. So you have to always stay near me. Okay. So stay around me. Mat samipavartina bhavyam. Kutaha yataha, because bahvapayam raudra sattva nishevitam varam. So how is this forest? It is raudra sattva nishevita. So it is the home for a lot of wild beings. Wild beasts roam around here. This is the home for them. Gurunam api sattvanam asevyam. So see, even large beasts, gurunam api sattvanam api etadrisham vanam na sevyam. So even large beasts don't stay in this forest. It is uninhabitable for large beasts. Okay, because this is Raudra Sattva Nishevita, because this is the home for very wild animals. Shushpa Bhojina, Kutaha Shashpa Bhojina. So what can be told about Shashpabhojis like you? By animals like you that feed on grass, what to speak of them? So please stay around me and be safe. Evamuktva Sakalamriga parivruto yamuna kacham avatiriyodaka grahanam krutva swechaya tadeva vanam pravishtaha tatascha karataka damanaka nikshipta rajyabhara sanjeevakena saha subhashita goshthim anubhavan naste athava sadhvidam uchyate. Evam uktva Sakala mriga parivritaha yamuna kacham avatirya udaka grahanam krutva swechaya tadeva vanam pravishtaha. Tataha cha karataka damanaka nikshipta rajyabharaha sanjeevakena saha subhashita goshthim anubhavan aste. Having said this, Sakala mriga parivritaha, so surrounded by all the mrigas, Yamuna kacham avatirya. So he got down into the marshlands, okay, on the bank of Yamuna. Udaka grahanam krutva, he got down there and drank water. Udaka grahanam krutva, swechaya tadeva vanam pravishtaha. So he entered the same forest again. He wanted to leave the forest, right? Now he has entered the same forest again. Tadeva vanam pravishtaha. Tatascha also. Karataka damanaka nikshipta rajyabharaha. Idanim saha kidrishaha sanjataha. Karataka damanaka nikshipta rajyabhara sanjataha. So he has now given the responsibility of taking care of the kingdom to Karataka and Damanaka. Karataka and Damanaka, so he has placed the Rajyabhara. So Karataka Damanakayoho Nikshiptam Rajyabharam Yena Saha. So by whom the Rajyabhara has been placed on Karataka and Damanaka, Tadrishaha Pingalakaha Sanjeevakena Saha. Now along with Sanjeevaka, he is Subhashita Goshthim Anubhavan Aste. So he started enjoying the company of this Satvika creature, Sanjeevaka, right? And he Subhashita Goshthim Anubhavan. So all that Sanjeevaka knew, okay, all Subhashita, we know Subhashita, right? So he started enjoying the pleasure of Subhashita Goshthi. So Goshthi here means conversation. Okay. Subhashita Goshthim Anubhavan Aste. So he started enjoying Subhashita conversations with Sanjeevaka. Athava Sadhvidam Uchyate. Yadrichaya Pupanatam Sakrit Sajjana Sangatam Bhavatyajaramatyantam Nabhyasa Kramamikshate. Yadrichaya Pupanatam Sakrit Sajjana Sangatam Bhavatyajaramatyantam Nabhyasa Kramamikshate. So the Mahima of Sajjana Sangati is told. Yadrichaya api Sakrit Upanatam Sajjana Sangatam. Sajjana Sangata, the company of great beings, even when obtained suddenly, Yadrichaya, one has not waited for it, one has not aspired for it, but suddenly one comes in the company of great beings. Even Tadrisha Sajjana Sangat, Tadrishi Sajjana Sangatirapi, Sakriti Upanatam. So it has been brought up only for a very short while, let us say, just once. Atyantam Ajaram Bhavati. So it becomes highly undecaying. Atyantam, Ajaram, Ajara, Jara means what? Jara means old age. It symbolizes decay, right? So, and this Sajjana Sangati becomes highly undecaying, even experienced for once. Okay, so the quality does not diminish at all, even when experienced just once. Abhyasa Kramam na ikshate. Abhyasa means repetition. Okay, Abhyasa Kramam na ikshate. It does not warrant repetition. Just once is enough. Okay, even when benefited, even if once, the power of Sajjana Sangati is huge. the kind of transformation that it can bring upon on a creature like Pingalaka. Okay. On a creature like Pingalaka, who we can know to be a very, very Rajasa creature, we know is a lion, a wild beast. We also know him to be a Mudhamati, right? It's not very intelligent, right? So just hearing the sound of Sanjeevaka, he got frightened. Okay. Tadrishopi, Tadrishasya janasyapi atyantam ajaram bhavati sajjana sangatihi. Even for that kind of a creature, it can bring about a huge transformation that suddenly he became interested in Subhashita Goshti. Sanjeevakenapyaneka shastravagahanadutpanna buddhi pragalbhyena stokairevaahobhir mudhamatihi pingalako dhimams tathakrito yatharanyadharmad viyojya gramyadharmeshu niyojitaha kimbahuna pratyaham pingalaka sanjeevakaveva kevalam rahasi mantrayataha. Sanjeevakena api Aneka Shastra Avagahanat Utpanna Buddhi Pragalbhyena Stokaihi Eva Ahobhihi Mudhamatihi Pingalakaha Dhiman Tathakritaha Yatha Aranya Dharmat Viyojya Gramya Dharmeshu Niyojitaha Kimbahuna Pratyaham Pingalaka Sanjeevakau Eva Kevalam Rahasi Mantrayataha. Sanjeevakena. It's a long sentence. We will try to see. Sanjeevakaha, Pingalakaha, Sanjeevakena, Pingalakaha, Dhiman Kritaha. So by Sanjeevaka, Pingalaka was made to be a Dhiman. So Pingalaka was a Mudhamati. He became an intelligent fellow through the association of Sanjeevaka. So Sanjeevaka made him a Dhiman. Sanjeevakena Pingalakaha Dhiman Kritaha. Katham Aneka Shastra Avagahanat Utpanna Buddhi Pragalbhyena. See, Buddhi Pragalbhya means sharpness of Buddhi. Buddhi Pragalbhyena, out of the sharpness of his own Buddhi, Sanjeevakena Pingalakaha Dhiman Kritaha. Pingalaka was made to turn into a Buddhiman by Sanjeevaka. And how did Sanjeevaka have this sharpness of intellect? Aneka Shastra Avagahana Dutpanna Buddhi Pragalbhyena. So how did this Buddhi Pragalbhya of Sanjeevaka happen? Because of the understanding generated out of the study of many shastras. Aneka Shastra, many Shastra, Avagahana, understanding, Avagahanat, because of the understanding developed. Avagahana here means actually a deep dive. Okay, so Avagahanat, because of immersion into many shastras, born out of that sharpness of intellect that was born out of immersion of born out of immersing in many shastras. Stokair eva ahobhihi, in a very few days. Alpaihi eva ahobhihi mudhamatihi pingalaka. So this dullard Pingalaka, Dhiman Kritaha, he was made into a very prudent person, an intelligent person. Tathakritaha, he was made up into a very prudent soul in that way. How? Yatha aranya dharmat viyojya gramya dharmeshu niyojitaha. See that his wild tendencies, okay, he refrained from them and he became a very domestic creature. Aranya dharmat viyojya. So having detached him from aranya dharma, from the dharma of the forest, Gramya dharmeshu saha niyojitaha. So he was employed in Gramya dharma. By whom? By Sanjeevaka. Okay. So here Aranya refers to, we can say, some kind of an uncivilized wild behavior, and Gramya dharma refers to civilized behavior. So duties of a civilized person actions of a civilized person and actions of a person living in the wilderness. Okay? So there is a difference between these two, the two attitudes, right? So because of the company of Sanjivaka, this wild beast became a domestic beast. He became very calm. He became more civilized. Kim bahuna, what more? Pratyaham, every day, Pingalaka Sanjivakau eva kevalam rahasi mantrayataha. Both Pingalaka and Sanjivaka stayed together, okay, and stayed alone. They were not in the company of other animals, and those animals were not allowed access to them. Both of them in solitude. Kevalam rahasi mantrayataha. So mantrayataha means they are having their conversations in private, and other people don't have access to these conversations. You can stop here. I will take questions if there are any. Any questions? Okay. There are no questions, we can close. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Abhyasa Kramam. Abhyasa means repetition. Okay, so Abhyasa Krama, repeated repetitions is not required. Okay, just once is enough. So Sajjana Sangati, Sakrit. Sakrit Sajjana Sangatam. Sangatihi, Sangatam, whatever was mentioned, what was mentioned there. Sakrit Sajjana Sangatam. Sakrit Upanatam Sajjana Sangatam. So Sajjana Sangati encountered just once, that is enough. Does not require repetition. Even for once, when encountered, it stays for a very long time. It does not decay. The effect that it produces stays for a very long time. Yadrichaya. Yadrichaya means what? Yadrichaya, unexpectedly. Unexpected is yadricha.